to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning as we are set and ready to go in studio inside the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal Studios located for you all throughout central and upstate New York. You can find them on 3501 James Street as well as 208 North Townsend Street and on 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. You can also find them in downtown Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital. And, of course, you can find Cafe Kubal out at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown-striped building that welcomes you into Manlius, where all roads converge in Manlius. And you can also find them at their newest location, where I was with Bob Beretta, the new director of athletics at Moyne College, and of course Mary Grimes, the new head coach of the Moyne women's basketball team, was there with them at the new location at Sweetheart Corners, and you'll find that at the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse, the first ever drive-through location for Cafe Kubal. So very happy to connect with you wherever you are and wherever you have gone out to Cafe Kubal. We definitely appreciate that very much so. So however you're connecting with the community, thank you so much for doing so, and thank you so much for showing your love. We definitely appreciate that in all stretches of the imagination, as you know, it really does. It takes a village to go out there and to help out the community and be good to one another. So we appreciate that. And speaking of taking a village, Moyne College and I are taking their village, their community, their alumni, their incoming students, their current students, student athletes and coaches and whatnot, and telling these stories. And I'm very, very excited about the opportunity to do that inside of this multimedia marketing partnership that we have. And so today we are making history with the Dolphin Dive, and I'm ecstatic about the opportunity to be able to make this history with you this morning, as the Dolphin Dive, the inaugural Dolphin Dive, will be happening here today, as I have the pleasure and very grateful that Bryant Perdomo is with me again, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But Bryant Perdomo is somebody that I've known, someone that I covered in the community through CNS Athletics. So through covering high schools, we met, and now covering Moyne College, we are here again. So I definitely am very honored and very grateful for this. It shows just how small the world is that we got to do a show together for CNS Athletics at Chick-fil-A Cicero, and then here we are doing a show with Moyne College today. So I'm very, very excited to share with you the first ever Dolphin Dive, where Bryant Perdomo will be joining me from the Moyne men's soccer team, and we'll be doing that momentarily. So make sure you jump on here and get ready for a conversation, first ever Dolphin Dive conversation, which I'm really, really looking forward to bringing out to the community. There's a lot of cool things we're going to have the opportunity of doing together, and it all starts here with this first ever Dolphin Dive. And as you all know, Wednesdays are very meaningful in this Moyne Dolphin multimedia marketing partnership with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as every Wednesday at 9 a.m. is quote-unquote Dolphin time. And that Dolphin time means that you're going to hear from the Moyne Dolphins every single Wednesday on Wake Up Call at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And so we have AD and DT, where Bob Beretta and I will sit down with a different topic every week, the athletics director at Moyne. And so that's the first and third Wednesday of every month. And the second and fourth is Dolphin Dive, where I will feature a student athlete, a coach, or someone else within the staff of the sports world at Moyne College, and we'll celebrate their story. So AD and DT every other week, and Dolphin Dive every other week inside of that. So that means every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time is Dolphin Dive time. It's Dolphin Dive time. It's AD and DT. It's essentially total Dolphin time. So definitely Bob got it right there, and I'm really, really excited to be able to share this time with you. So without further ado, we'll take a step aside, and when we come back inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, Bryant Perdomo will join me for the first ever, the inaugural episode of Dolphin Dive, coming from the Moyne men's soccer team. And then in hour number 2, as you know we always do here on Wake Up Call, we will jump into the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Not one of, not a, but the Fantasy Football Power Hour, coming to you with plenty to talk about in this beautiful world of the NFL, fantasy football, and the crazy week that started things off. We'll get to all of that right after this, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, once again from inside of these Cafe Kubal studios.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Hello everyone, once again here at Moyne College, and this is Dan Tortora. This is our first ever Dolphin Dive. You're going to see it every single month, student athletes, coaches, administration, giving you a true dive into who the Moyne College Dolphins are. And so my first ever conversation in Dolphin Dive, the inaugural Dolphin Dive here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and our multimedia marketing partnership with Moyne College, comes with Bryant Perdomo, who knows me and I know him from 3 years ago, which is making us both feel old.
A little bit, right?
From CNS, and so I'm honored and privileged to be here on the soccer field, on Ted Grant Field at Moyne College, where the men's soccer team kicks off, and finally, after almost 2 years, got to kick off and start the season in a very good footing. So, Brian, I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What's it like to be the inaugural Dolphin Dive? Historically, you will always be the first. So.
Being the first, actually, it's a pleasure and it's an honor. You know, me and you had a great connection when we met 3 years ago, and when I saw you here on campus again, I ran right to you, introduced myself again, and then, it kind of just clicked again.
So, and I'm very happy to have you here. And that was one of the great moments, because I was walking with Bob Beretta, the director of athletics here, and we're coming across the field, and he's talking about the team. and he was like, "Oh, here's one of the guys," and like he was talking you up, and then you're like, "Hey, Dan!" It's like it was definitely a small world and a beautiful thing of the fact of the caliber of people that are here at Lemoyne, and so I thought it was a great example to be on campus for just a couple seconds and to see a familiar face from Central New York. So CNS to Lemoyne, what made you decide that this was the right place to be?
I think it just started with the community, how it wasn't being a North Star. It was kind of like being a family. A lot of people had, there was like a sense of pride and devotion. And it's the same thing here at Lemoyne, being a Dolphin. I think it was like a small campus, smaller than other campuses. And I think it was just a great transition, Same thing, pride and devotion, small family, small community, but also a big community. Like you said, I saw you right here. So I think that was the biggest thing,
So you decided to come here to Lemoyne, and a pandemic hits, nothing that we could have ever anticipated or expected. You spent over 600 days not being able to play. How did you navigate such a thing?
So actually what we did as a team, I know also the athletic department, they had a couple Zoom calls over the time span where we weren't all together, just to keep us together. They did all the athletes for a couple Zoom meetings, just talked and got together, and then had a couple team meetings. Our coach got together and got the whole team together, got them on Zoom, just to keep us connected. When you're not together all the time, it's kind of tough, but I think they did a pretty good job, using Zooms to keep us together.
Yeah, and Zoom, something that a lot of us didn't even know about until it hit. How did you keep the family together of this men's soccer team at Lemoyne? How did you continue to build relationships and, in some cases with new players, create new relationships through a digital world?
I think that just goes hand in hand with also just being a Dolphin. I feel like everybody that comes here is always very personable and, likes to make friends and likes to make that connection. So I think with having Zoom and, we all reach out to each other, we all have each other's numbers, team group chats and stuff, I think there was a time where we were all just home for so long with our families, and as much as we love our family, you want to see your friends. And I think our team is just very, very close. We have a really strong bond. So, we're always reaching out to each other, making sure we're all right. And then obviously with new guys coming in, when we found out they were coming in, we try to reach out to them as soon as we can and just be like, hey, obviously it's a weird time, but when we get back on campus, hopefully we can see each other face to face. And it was just all about making connections and just keeping them connected.
You spoke about the fact that you chose this school because it's big enough, but it's small enough.
Yep.
Why did you think that this soccer team was the right place for you to continue your career?
I'd say Coach Bonus, he talked about the program that they have here, and, it drew me in. It's a very, very strong program. They take pride in what they do. Practices every day. We don't take a practice off. It's 100% every time, and that was kind of the same thing at CNS with our old coach. But I also knew, I want to say 2 or 3 of the guys just from locally, and obviously I reached out to them once I knew this might have been a place for me, and then they just had great things to say, and they said true.
How quickly did it take for you to take that dive and become a Dolphin?
I'd say pretty quick. There was a couple other schools in mind, but I don't know, just walking around campus and then running into some of the guys even on my little tour in the beginning over the summer just before. I already ran into some of the soccer guys who were already on campus, and they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And it just felt right.
So for you get the opportunity, you get the offer, and did you have that offer before you came to campus, or did you come to campus and then they reached out to you?
I think it was kind of both. There was a mutual connection that the coach and I had, which was another soccer coach, and we were in conversation before, and then I guess after our meeting, the offer was there, and then it just, like I said, it felt right. It just falls into place, and I feel like everything happens for a reason, and when it felt right, I just went with it, kind of with my gut.
That coming from Bryant Perdomo here in the inaugural Dolphin Dive that you'll only find on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month in our multimedia marketing partnership with Moyne College and these Dolphins. So for you, Bryant, to be in this community and grow up in this community and then be at CNS and come here, I know, and I want you to speak on this, the value of being a Central and Upstate New Yorker and knowing your roots and then coming back and building there. And for me, like, I went in different parts of the country and I came back.
Yes.
So to me, you know, to put my name on the door and build Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, it only felt right to do it in my hometown.
Yep.
It felt right for you to be here in your hometown, to be at college and continue your career. What does it mean to be a Central and Upstate New Yorker, and why is it so important to dig our roots deep here?
I think it's a great community. I mean, my family isn't from here, and then I think when I was around 5, 6 years old, I think we moved up to Central New York, and then been here since. And obviously, there was a reason why they chose this place. I guess it wasn't random for them.
Yeah.
And then from then, you know, I always were in good elementary schools, had a good time middle, junior high, like high school. It was just always, it felt right, you know. It was like when you find home, it's home. And then, yeah, roots are there, and then it was just easier, you know. You make your connections. It's a small community. It's a big community, but small. You see a lot of regular faces, and yeah, I just wanted to keep going here.
This field that we're standing on right now, as we're looking the long ways, the soccer field is huge.
Yes.
And I feel that people don't get that until they like stand on it as we're doing. And you look, and I coached soccer in Carbondale, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I realized that not only do I have tremendous respect for soccer players in general, but the amount of miles that you run in a game. I mean, you think about outside mids and just like insane.
Yep.
What can you say about it? I mean, this is your home. You know the field. You've known the field for years. You know this field very well here at Ted Grant Field at Moyne. But what can you say to that? I mean, the conditioning and the sport itself, because I think it goes underrepresented just how much in shape you have to be just to even attempt to compete in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fit game. You got to be fit. But besides from the fitness, it's also mental, you know. You can only run so much, and sometimes you get tired and you're at the 75th minute or the 80th minute, and you have nothing left in your tank, and it just comes from, I guess, what you have, like your mindset and your heart. Yeah, definitely is a running game, a lot of running. It's not too fun when you're at practice, you know, running at the end, but it's, you know, it's for a purpose, it makes sense, and yeah, and then when you have a good team with you, you know, you push each other, everybody pushes each other, you push yourself, so we all strive to be fit and game ready.
Almost 2 years you're not on the field. You start your season for here in 2021. Not only do you start the season and finally get to get back on the field, but you start it at home and you win.
Yes.
Bring me into that moment of we're back, we're home for our first game, and you end the game with a victory.
It was an experience. It was actually like, the atmosphere was great, you know, from just waking up that day knowing that we're finally playing again after the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
We get in the locker room, it was just great. Everyone's smiling, everyone's excited, we're all pumped, and then, you know, we get ready, and I just remember just like running down onto the field as we do. It was just, I don't know, I can't even explain it actually. It was quite the experience. It was pretty exciting, and we were happy. And I think that's how we started so well and got the win. I mean, it's like you never know what's going to happen. Like, it could be the last game, something could happen again.
Yeah.
So it was like, right now I just kind of like, you know, play the game as like it's always your last. So we definitely took advantage of being home and starting home, and we had a big crowd here too. Yeah. It was exciting, so it was definitely a great time.
They say live every moment like it's your last, live every day like it's your last. But these last 2 years really have put to us that is a very true statement and not just a cliche thing. How do you live every day like it's your last?
I just try to enjoy myself and have fun, you know. Obviously every day isn't sunshines and rainbows, but when there's, you know, something bad happens, I kind of just, you get over it, you get over that little hump, because yeah, I mean, you can't be down all the time. I try to always have a smile on my face, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want to go to class today, I'm too tired. It's like, you know, we were home. I was home. I commuted the last 2 semesters just being from here. You know, I had the opportunity to do that to stay in school. But yeah, just always try to stay excited, go into the classroom, be on the field, be with everybody, be with the team. So just being optimistic and just having a positive mindset. What does it mean to you to be a Moyne College Dolphin? To be a Dolphin is to be a part of a family, I would say, you know. Like at the Athletic Center here with all the athletes, it's definitely a family, but also with our students on campus. It's very, very small, very smart. It's great, you know, everybody takes pride in what they do. You know, that sense of devotion, like I said before. for us athletes, it's like we want to get everything done here on the field, but also our class is right over there. You know, we want to get our work done. We gotta keep a high standard, and I think we do that pretty well.
The Dolphin Dive inaugural episode here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Here at Moyne College every single month, their student athletes, administration, and coaches. Bryant Perdomo of the men's soccer team gets to join me first and start things off here for the Dolphin Dive. And it's now time to dive into rapid fire, which is something we've had at Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for many years. So, in the spirit of fairness, as I say all the time, I don't know any broadcaster or media member that ever hands the mic to the person they're interviewing and says, go ahead. But I've done it for years because we dare to be different. And so we're going to ask each other 2 questions. I'm going to let Bryant start. Nothing's been prepared. And so you can literally ask me anything you want. What would you like to ask?
Oh, man. Let's see. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
What did I have for breakfast this morning? That's a great question. I love breakfast. I was rushing today, so what I had for breakfast, I'm not ashamed about, but I mean, obviously this is not really on the, pyramid of greatness. I had a jelly donut from Linkport Bakery, which is the greatest bakery in the world. So I'm not going to be mad about it, but I wanted to have some cereal. I'm a big cereal guy, and I ate through all of my cereal, and I have to go to the grocery store.
Gotcha.
So my first one for you is what you're wearing. I have to wrap my head around this. I know we're from Central and Upstate New York, but how can you wear a sweatshirt when it's almost 80 degrees outside?
Well, I woke up this morning and it was like 60s, like 65. So I try to stay comfy in class. And some of the classrooms there's some AC in there, so try to stay cool.
Okay. Yeah, I never got that. I never got the I see people in sweatshirts and I start sweating. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So okay, fair enough. What's your last one?
I'm gonna stay on the breakfast topic.
Okay.
You said you ran out of cereal. You're gonna go to the store. What's the first one you're grabbing?
Oh, that's another good one. What's the first cereal that I'm grabbing? I would have to say the first cereal that I would pick, oh man, probably Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
I'd probably go with Lucky Charms because I'm a giant child. So I would have to say Lucky Charms or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. One of those 2.
Good choices, good options.
My second one for you is, let's stick with food.
Okay.
You can only have one meal for the rest of your life, every single day, and not get sick of it. What are you eating?
That's a tough question. Let's see. All right, I'll go with a little plate that my parents always make that I always loved. It was like a fried chicken cutlet.
Okay.
Refried beans. Some white rice, and then some fried plantains. Love it.
All right.
Every day.
You said chicken cutlet, you said plantains. I was sold. That's all you need to hear. Anybody who makes a good chicken cutlet is worth it. So,
yes.
And plantains, anybody who knows what they are, they're the things that look like bananas, but they're not in your grocery store. And there's a certain way that you have to make them, and you have to treat them. I always like when I'm cooking them, you got to treat them like a lady, right?
Yes.
When you're making your plantains, you got to be good to these plantains. So, thank you for watching this episode of Dolphin Dive. It's our inaugural one. You'll see every single month student athletes, administration, and coaches speak with me here exclusively in our Dolphin Dive broadcast inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, so that you get to know your Dolphins and you get to see truly what this community is bringing to you every single day in the classroom, on the field, and on the court. Bryant, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
The inaugural Dolphin Dive here for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, just unveiled with Bryant Perdomo of the Moyne College Dolphins men's soccer team. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Bryant, and thank you to Moyne, and of course the men's soccer team for being a part of this inaugural episode of the Dolphin Dive. I'm very, very excited for everything we have going on here with Moyne. There's a lot of great stuff that's going to be coming up inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time is quote-unquote Dolphin Time. That means that every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, worldwide, on Wake Up Call exclusively, you're going to get Moyne College Dolphins content. Every first and third Wednesday of the month, you're going to have AD and DT, where Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, sit down with a different topic every single week. Every other week, first and third Wednesday. Second and fourth Wednesday, Dolphin Dive, where I will sit down with a different student athlete, coach, or faculty staff member of the Moyne College Dolphins to tell their story. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. AD&DT, then Dolphin Dive, then AD&DT, then Dolphin Dive. That's how the weeks work, 4 weeks throughout the month, every Wednesday. And AD&DT and Dolphin Dive will switch on and off week by week here as we bring you the stories of Moyne College. We bring you your Dolphins, and we always proudly tell you, fins up. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside the Cafe Kubal Studios. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll talk about those Dolphins and get you set and on your way with the information that you need on what's going on with Moyne College. How are the teams doing, and who is up next that you can go out and see? We'll talk about the Dolphins right after this inside a Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And hour number 2, as you know, we're getting set for week 2 of the NFL. Week 1. Woo! Week 1. Week 1. What can we say about week 1? It was interesting. It was riveting. And football came back with a giant yell, I guess I would say. So we'll get into that right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Thank you so much for being with us inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. We appreciate you as always. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was, selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, where you're listening. You are watching live on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/livenowdt. So however you're tuning into the show, thank you so much, and welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets life inside of these Cafe Kubal studios every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You just heard the first ever and saw the first ever Dolphin Dive, and that featuring Bryant Perdomo of the Moyne College Dolphins men's soccer team. And before that, when we met 3 years ago, of the CNS North Stars boys soccer team. So crazy that we had the opportunity, and that's how small the world is, and that's how beautiful God is, that meeting Bryant and being able to speak with him and speak with CNS and just have a good time sitting in with him at Chick-fil-A Cicero. And then literally, we talked about it. Bob and I were walking across the field, and Bob Beretta was saying, nothing but positive things about the men's soccer team, and we were just having a good conversation. And then he goes, "Oh, here's one of them." And he goes to say hi to Bryant, and Bryant goes, "Hi, Mr. Tortora." He goes, "Hey, what's up? Hi, do you remember me? How you doing?" And, that meant the world to me because we sat down one time. We sat down once. So, to have that reaction after sitting down once makes me feel like I'm doing something good in this world and right in this world, in a world that, sometimes lately seems so crazy and so lost and so disbanded. To walk across a field and have somebody greet you like that, really, it brings you to a place where you feel okay, okay, yeah, as crazy as it looks out there, it's still my world. There's great people in it, there's beauty in it, and so it just made me happy to see that. It really did. And things like that mean the world to me. So I want to thank Bryant for that reaction, because I know it was his honest reaction, but to me it made me really feel special, appreciated, and I just want to say thank you. So a big ups to Bryant Perdomo. Love having you on the show as always. And Dolphin Dive every second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time here on Wake Up Call every month is going to be featuring student athletes, like I said, coaches and other faculty and staff telling their stories. And Bryant got to be the first ever Dolphin Dive. So when I look back on this 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I can say that that the nice young man that was at CNS that sat down next to me and told his story, that we got to make history telling his story at Moyne and why he's a Dolphin. So really great stuff. Thank you to Bryant. Again, thank you to Moyne. Thank you to Bob Beretta. Thank you to Linda Lemura and just really everybody at Moyne for helping to make this possible and for us to be able to tell these incredible stories through our multimedia marketing partnership, which I'm very, very grateful for. So many thanks and God bless to all of you. With that being said, there is a doubleheader today. Speaking of the soccer side of things at Moyne, at Ted Grant Field today, Wednesday, September 15th, there is a doubleheader. The men's team will play at 1 p.m. Eastern Time against Damon, and the women's team will play at 4 p.m. Eastern Time against Pace. So we'll get to see both of these games. I'm very excited about this as we have an opportunity to see both teams in action and, both on the same day. It's one. I love doubleheaders, and I used to do, at my alma mater, Marywood University, I would broadcast for MU Courtside, the show I created, men's and women's basketball doubleheaders. And I loved that we had those because it gave people an opportunity to see the sport played by both the men and the women, which I thought was, incredible and just really, really awesome. So I'm very excited about this. You're probably, potentially, maybe, spoiler alert, going to see my face out here at Moyne today. So just so you know, if y'all are coming out, come say hi. The women's soccer team, 1-1. They started their season off against Lake Erie College at home and lost the game on Ted Grant Field, so looking to get their first home win on their familiar grounds. And they went on the road to Caldwell University in New Jersey, defeated them 3-1. So started off the season 1-1, and looking, like I said, to get that first home win. And this is against a Northeast 10 opponent. So this is a conference game for the women's soccer team in Lemoyne, facing off against Pace. And that'll be today, Wednesday, September 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time at Ted Grant Field. And then they'll be home again against Stonehill College and before they go on the road to American International and then back against St. Anselm. So 3 out of the next 4 games for the women's soccer team at Lemoyne are at home. So just kind of set it here and make sure you come out to the games Wednesday, September 15th today, part of a doubleheader. They're at 4. And then we have September 18th on Saturday at noon at home, and then Saturday, September 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the St. Anselm game. So a lot of great stuff coming up with the women's soccer team. Like I said, looking for their first win at home after starting the season 1-1 and losing their first game at home against Lake Erie College. So hopefully the women's side of things can get it done today and get to 2-1 on the season and get that home win at 10 Grant Field. The men's soccer team started off the season 3-0. They defeated Caldwell University as well as the women did, but they did it at home. And their first game of the season was at home, and they won 3-0. Then they defeated Jefferson at home 2-1 in overtime, and they just defeated Post University at home 2-0. Ranked 22nd in the country, Post was, when they came into Lemoyne, and Lemoyne defeated them. And now they're at home against Damon College at 1 p.m. Eastern Time today as part of the doubleheader, Wednesday, September 15th. Then they're on the road at Adelphi, and then they have American International at home on Wednesday, September 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Franklin Pierce is on the road, and Bentley's at home in October 2nd on Saturday at noon Eastern Time. So, again, a lot of great stuff coming up. This is a non-conference game for the men's team, so the men playing Damon out of New York, a non-conference, and then the women playing in conference against Northeast 10 Pace today. Doubleheader, make your way out to it. The women 1-1, trying to get above 500. The men trying to stay undefeated at 3-0, and are ranked in the nation's top 25 after beating number 22 Post. They're ranked number 24 in the country. So shout out to the men's soccer team for being 3-0 and trying to stay undefeated, and for being ranked in the nation's top 25 and for beating a top 25 team. And shout out to the women for being 1-1, getting that road victory, and now trying to make sure that they take care of business at home today. So a lot of great stuff here with the men's and women's soccer team. Definitely come out and see it. 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the men and 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the women, both at Lemoyne, both at Ted Grant Field, both today, Wednesday, September 15th. So come out and support your Lemoyne College Dolphins. And you just heard from Bryant Perdomo. He'll be out there on the field at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with the men's team. So make sure you come out and support him and the whole team. And, of course, volleyball is on the road at Roberts Wesleyan. So you can check out their game and keep in touch with that by staying in touch with all of Lemoyne's social media. And so a lot of great stuff coming up with that. Very excited about everything to come here. Like I said, the men's and women's soccer team will continue to have a bunch of games here and have some home opportunities. The women's soccer team for sure having 3 of their next 4 at home. So great to see that. And before you know it, we're going to be stepping into basketball. And Mary Grimes' team will be out there, and Nate Champion. So a lot of good stuff coming up and a lot of respect for all of the teams out there at Lemoyne College. You can find out more information by going to LeMoyneDolphins.com and getting all of the schedules there of everything that's coming up. I do want to make a note here, too. There's other teams that have been in action, so I want to make sure I make notes of all of these. Men's cross country, they have some stuff coming up here Saturday, September 25th, so they're off for 2 weeks. Last time they were out there was September 11th, and they finished 6th of 7 at CNS Invitational, 3rd of 6 before that in the Frank Dillon Memorial Invitational at Lemoyne, and they're going to be at the Harry F. Anderson Invitational in Rochester, and that's going to be Saturday, September 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So they'll be on the road for a bit here. They'll be at Cazenove College, and they'll be at the Hamilton Invitational as well for men's cross country. And to give you the women's side of things for cross country here as well, their schedule. The women, 2nd of 5 in the Frank Dillon Memorial Invitational that was here at Lemoyne, and 5th of 7 at Sienna's College Invitational out there in Albany. And then September 25th on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, they'll also be at the Harry F. Anderson Invitational in Rochester at the Matt St. James Cross Country Trails. So that's for the men's and women's cross country. And for tennis, on the men's side here, September 17th is their first action. That is coming up on Friday, the ITA East Regional. And they'll have that September 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, the ITA East Regional. That'll be in Flushing, New York, at the National Tennis Center, the USTA National Tennis Center. So just to let some notes here come out. So if the men's side of things, the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, you can go and see them in Flushing, New York. I have some extended family out there. So you can go out to Flushing, the New York City area, and go see the men face off here on the tennis side of things. And then as far as the women go for women's tennis, they've already gotten things started off. They're 2-0. They played Deauville College at home and won that 7-0, and at St. Michael's won 7-0 as well. They'll also be at the ITA East Regional in Flushing, New York from September 17th through September 20th, so you can go and see them there as well. But they've started off the season 2-0, and I want to jump to volleyball as well. Volleyball starting off the season 1-6. They defeated Post University at home 3-1 and have been on a 6-game losing streak. They were at Southern New Hampshire, at St. Anselm, home against Felician University, home against Jefferson, at Wilmington in Delaware, and against Chestnut Hill College. So they'll try to get onto the right side of things today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at Roberts Wesleyan, and then they'll be home against Adelphi on Saturday, September 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is an NE10 conference game. So make sure you continue to support all the teams here at Lemoyne, and again, making notes on what's going on with volleyball, tennis, as well as soccer and cross country. And on the golf side of things, the men's golf will start getting going here at Penman Fall Invitational. That'll be on September 20th and 21st at Southern New Hampshire University, and that's at Dairyfield Country Club in Manchester, New Hampshire. So the men's golf team will start off with the Penman Fall Invitational, and that's going to be next Monday and Tuesday the 20th and the 21st of September. So you can go and check them out there in New Hampshire. The women have already gotten involved here. They had the St. Rose Fall Invitational on September 12th and 13th, and they finished 4th of 4 at that out in Guilderland, New York. And they'll have the Lemoyne Fall Invitational the 19th and 20th this coming Sunday and Monday at Lemoyne at the Pompey Club in Jamesville, New York. So you can see the women right here in the community for women's golf at Lemoyne College Fall Invitational. You can come and check them out in Jamesville, New York this coming Sunday and Monday, the 19th and the 20th. So a lot of action for Lemoyne already, and basketball is on its way, and then obviously you have the world of lacrosse, so a lot of excitement for that. Swimming and diving is not too far away here in October, and so we're really jumping into all of this. And then looking back on earlier on this year, the men's baseball team finished 16-9 and started their season on March 27th and finished up 2021 on May 17th. And so, I want to make note of that as well as the softball side of things, where the women's team here, softball at Moyne, 12-14, they finished the season, started on March 20th, and they finished things up on May the 6th of this year. So another thing worth noting as everything, it's it. We're just a little bit away of having everything back, which I'm really, really excited about. So definitely looking forward to it. And obviously, not too many months away, we'll have baseball and softball again, but lacrosse will get set and ready to go, basketball gets set and ready to go, and golf is more than on its way for the men and the women. So Lemoyne's going to have plenty of things for you to come out and see on site, on location, right off Erie Boulevard here in central New York. So make sure you come out and support the Moyne Dolphins here in our community. And before we get to the NFL, just taking a look around the sports world right now and how things are, I do want to make a note too, and I will in a few minutes when Mike comes on the show, that this was a crazy week in the NFL. So I just want to make note of that there's been some interesting things that have gone on. But in the baseball world, I want to jump to that for a second here and see how baseball's shaken out here as races are close. The Tampa Bay Rays are 9 games ahead of the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. All 3 of those teams are 9 games behind. So the Rays are holding them at bay right now, pun truly intended, as they play in Tampa Bay. And Baltimore Orioles are way out of it, 43.5 games back. Chicago White Sox commanding the Central of the American League. And the Houston Astros are 6.5 above Seattle, who's still fighting, and the Oakland A's, who are 7 games back in the West of the AL. In the National League, the Mets, who were in first for a long time, and obviously DeGrom had something to do with that, they have dipped to third. They're 5.5 games back. They're still in the running, but the Phillies are 4.5 back, and the Braves have taken the lead over these last few weeks. The Milwaukee Brewers in the Central of the National League, they are commanding that, 13.5 games ahead of the closest team to them, who is St. Louis. And in the West, we've already seen 2 teams. Okay, so nobody has clinched a playoff spot except for 2 teams in the NL West, the Giants and the Dodgers. That's because the Giants have 95 wins and the Dodgers have 93. The Dodgers are 2.5 games behind the Giants, who have the moniker on their website, resilient, and that's the word that they're using to describe themselves right now this season, resilient, and they have definitely stayed resilient, as they are 2.5 games ahead of the team that many people thought, including myself, would be making the World Series this year and try to repeat again. So, Dodgers 2.5 games behind the Giants. 2 teams have clinched the playoffs, both from the same division, the NL West. And no, it's not my Arizona Diamondbacks, who have the worst record in baseball. 48 games behind. Well, I'm sorry. They don't have the worst record in baseball. They're the farthest behind. 48 games behind. The worst record in baseball belongs to the Orioles, who are 46-98. And the Diamondbacks are 47-98. So barely ahead, but ahead by a little. And I'll take whatever I can get in a horrible season this season for my poor Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'm sure Papa Joe and I will talk about all this stuff in just a little bit coming up on his Thursday post every single Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Papa Joe joining us exclusively here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So that's what Major League Baseball looks like. To find out more information on the AL East, the NL East, the Yankees, the Rays, the Jays, as well as the Mets, conversation on the Giants and the Dodgers, and so much more. Mike Trout and his injury that happened back in May and has just lingered the entire baseball season. All of that and more, including a special segment called The Prospect Plate, where we give you prospects that could be the future of Major League Baseball. That is all inside of one show, and that show is called Designated Diamonds, and it unveiled its debut episode yesterday night at Tuesday, September 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so set your dial to that. You can find it on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, where you are right now, and that will be featuring Brendan Murphy of Marywood University History and myself, Dan Tortora, or as short that people refer to, DT. So definitely check that out. Check out Designated Diamonds, a great show. Awesome encyclopedia that Brendan Murphy is for the baseball world. And as we expand our baseball coverage here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, with the likes of Papa Joe and Steve Marino that was here with us, and obviously Brendan Murphy, very much looking forward to that, and Ross Turetsky too. So very, very excited about what we're going to be able to do with baseball, and definitely appreciate having you be a part of it. So there's so many things we'll be getting into in Designated Diamonds. Can't wait for you to check it out. Check out episode 1 now. It's available on demand for free at youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. So no MACtion going on Wednesday night tonight, but Thursday we'll see some MACtion as Ohio, who faced off against Syracuse and lost 29-9, will be on the road at Louisiana. Raging Cajuns, they've been ranked in recent history, and so they'll get that game. UCF will play at Louisville, an AAC versus ACC game, two conferences I cover very, very heavily. That's on Friday, September 17th, and Maryland will face off at Illinois in a Big Ten game that still seems weird to me because Illinois and Maryland, I don't know. Maryland just doesn't make sense in the Big Ten. Anywho. Saturday, September 18th, we'll see number 3, Oklahoma, face off against Nebraska. They barely got past Tulane, and now they'll have Nebraska. Texas A&M, number 7th in the country, will face off against New Mexico. Cincinnati, who is allegedly joining the Big 12 and leaving the American, number 8 in the country at Indiana. Huge game because I love Luke Fickell and his team. And I'm a big old fan of Tom Allen, and Stevie Scott went there from my alma mater, Christian Brothers Academy. So much love there, even though Stevie's all finished up at Indiana. Still would like to see them do well, and Cincinnati. Virginia Tech, number 15th in the country at West Virginia. Little battle there, the Virginias. And then we have Coastal Carolina, 16th in the nation at Buffalo. Two teams that I'd like to see join the American. Buffalo and Coastal Carolina. So be good to see them play each other. Michigan State's at number 24, Miami. And number 25, Michigan, has Northern Illinois at home. That's your top 25 matchups that are all happening at noon. Those are all noon games. From the Nebraska-Oklahoma one to the Northern Illinois-Michigan. Those are all noon games. Then we get number 12, Notre Dame against Purdue at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. Normal channel, thank goodness. Alabama-Florida, a game that I would like to see in like Week 7, but we're going to get it early here in Week 3. Alabama at Florida, and we'll see that number 1 versus number 11 in Gainesville at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. Battle for the SEC. Number 5, Iowa. They've jumped to the top 5. Will play Kent State with Sean Lewis, the old offensive coordinator for Dino Babers at Kent State, going up against a 5-ranked team in the country. Number 6, Clemson will have Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech struggled this season, so I would imagine Clemson should have no trouble. Ohio State, number 9, is still in the top 10 despite losing to Oregon, and they have Tulsa and Tulane. They have gotten after these top teams, so hopefully they'll give them something to work with there. Ohio State, hopefully Tulsa will make the game at least bare minimum interesting. Arkansas, number 20th in the country after defeating Texas, will have Georgia Southern, and so we'll get to see that. And then South Carolina will be at Georgia later on in the night, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia's number 2 in the nation. Number 4, Oregon will play Stony Brook, which I know very well, which is right here in the Long Island area. Then we have Penn State, number 10, playing at home against number 22, Auburn. I like that little SEC Big Ten matchup. North Carolina will play Virginia. North Carolina had trouble with Virginia Tech. Will they struggle with the state of Virginia again? We'll see. This game's at home, not in Virginia, so we'll see how they are at Chapel Hill. 21 in the country, still ranked there. And Ole Miss is going to get hell from Tulane because Tulane gave it to Oklahoma, so we'll see what they can give to an SEC team with Lane Kiffin in the Lane train. Number 17, Ole Miss, facing off against Tulane on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Fresno State will take on number 13 ranked UCLA, who had defeated LSU in their first game, and that game's at 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Iowa State at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 13th in the country at UNLV. Arizona State and BYU, two top 25s, 19 for Arizona State, 23 for BYU. BYU allegedly leaving the role of an independent and becoming a Big 12 team, and that game's at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. So, a lot of great stuff coming up here. Texas trying to bounce back. They'll have Rice Of course, Syracuse, Texas will have rice. It's like what they'll have. I'll have the rice. So, but just weird how I said it. And Syracuse will be at home against Albany at noon Eastern time on the ACC network to start off a day of the ACC. And Army will play up against UConn. So a lot of stuff going on here. Very excited to see yet another week. And Old Dominion is going to play at Liberty, and I got some friends on Old Dominion, and I respect Liberty, and you might want to watch that game because that's at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So after the Syracuse game, watch Liberty. Why? Because they're going to be playing Syracuse the next week on a Friday night. So inside of the Carrier Dome, where the Liberty Flames won their first ever game against an ACC opponent. Syracuse is the first ACC team that Liberty ever defeated in their history as a football program. Not the part of history you want to be on if you're Syracuse. Definitely the part of history you want to be on if you're Liberty. Then Liberty went on to Blacksburg and defeated Virginia Tech. And then they almost defeated NC State, losing by 1 point, 15-14. That game was also on the road. So just think about that. Think about the fact that last year Liberty... I know Syracuse fans are like, Dan, why are you making me think about this? But last year, Liberty had to play against the ACC. They're an independent school. So, they're in another conference for other sports. But in football, they're an independent. And as an independent, they had to schedule these games and go on the road. It's one of those teams that will play on the road like the whole season. And so they got to go on the road and play at Syracuse, at Virginia Tech, at NC State. And they beat 2 out of 3 after never beating a team before inside of the ACC, and they almost beat NC State. They lose by 1 point. So, Liberty's the truth. And this game this game on the schedule for Syracuse, fans used to laugh at this and go, yeah, gimme. As Rob Carpenter, Rob Drummond, and Duke Pettijohn would call it, a stat game. Not anymore. Not a stat game anymore. This is real deal. Because of the way Syracuse has played down in recent history, and Liberty is just getting better. So Syracuse is going to have to be ready for this one because they are not going to be any type of walk in the park unless the walk in the park is like being chased by a dog and having bees surround your face. Or like me, the last time I walked in the park, a bee tried to go in my mouth. I don't know why. I was talking on the phone, and the bee was just right in front of my face. So I think they heard the annoying moment of the week because 2 of them got even more adventurous after I did that. So I know the bees have the buzzword, pun totally intended. And so definitely I'm going to have to, I guess, watch what I say about the bees. No, the bees will not. The bees will not make me change myself. I will be who I am. And another pun, totally intended. So, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to end this video on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT and Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. We're going to end it here and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. And when we come back, we will have fantasy football here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As you know, I always have a separate video for the fantasy football side of things, just so we can get people advice as quick as they need it. And fantasy football is such a giant thing that I've done here on Wake Up Call for over a decade. What I mean by a giant thing, ton of work, a lot of people all over the nation, all over the world, asking for advice and different pieces. So we want to make sure that you can get to those videos. So we'll end this video here. Those of you listening, stay where you are. Those of you watching, hang out here for a second. We'll be back momentarily on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, for those of you on Facebook as well as those of you on the YouTube. So we'll be back here momentarily, and we look forward to talking with you very